Hey there, my name is Jonathan. I'm the Senior Developer Relations Manager here at Matillion, and I'm here to talk a little bit today about microbatching and why you should maybe consider using it. Let's get started with some assumptions, and then strategize how we want to get our data loaded, and then let's see it in action within the Data Productivity Cloud. So, what are our assumptions? First, we'll assume that you've already gotten signed up to the Data Productivity Cloud. We'll also assume that you've got a known source system and a destination warehouse ready. Finally, we'll also assume that our stakeholders, as you would expect, want their data as fast as possible. So let's think about how we get that data from A to B. Well, typically we have two ways. We can do batch loading or we can do streaming. In batch loading, we will traditionally grab our data and then load it to our destination system on a schedule, something like every 6 hours or every 8 p.m. And that will mean you can get your data on that regular cadence. This is something that is very, very typical within the Data Productivity Cloud. Streaming is a little different. It is a continuous source of data, a continuous feed of that data from your source system to your destination system. It gives you low latency, and it means that when you need real-time data, you can do that. It can be accomplished today using Change Data Capture, or CDC. But then let's talk about microbatching. Well, it's a bit of a middle ground between both options. You can, on a regular cadence, but a much shorter cadence, get that data loaded from the source system. There's lots of different ways in which you can do microbatching: trigger-based, schedule-based, or recursive. All of these are possible using the Data Productivity Cloud. Let's talk a little bit more about why microbatching is useful. Well, it focuses on small batches. It focuses on repeating loads. So instead of going and getting, 1 million records, 2 million, 3 million records, instead it's all about reducing the size of that batch and increasing the schedule in which the data is fetched. So let's take a look. Let's see how we can achieve this within the Data Productivity Cloud. As mentioned before, there's a couple of different ways that we can handle microbatching. The easiest of them is definitely via schedule. When we have a simple pipeline, like the one here, which loads data from a data source, we can, once published, validate and execute the pipeline on a schedule. We do this by clicking Schedule, and then setting up our pipeline to run on a recurring basis. We have the option for both standard and advanced mode, where we will specify a cron expression. This allows us to say every 5 minutes we want you to run this pipeline, and that allows microbatches. The second and slightly more complicated way is we can make the Data Productivity Cloud call itself. This is where we will use the Flex connector for Data Productivity Cloud to call itself upon execution completion. In this incredibly simple example, we are simply printing the variables from our pipeline, and then provided we have the microbatch variable set, we are then calling the Data Productivity Cloud for another execution. This allows us to programmatically define that we would like our pipeline to continue running. And it allows us for published pipelines to say, hey, do this thing, and at the end, then run yourself again. We can then go and view all of those executions within the observability dashboard. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed today's content, to subscribe to the channel, join the discussion on the Matillion community, and visit matillion.com to start your trial today.